You cannot change
Can't
what's been going on with your body for 12 years in 1 week.
right,
And
right.
a lot of people want these like quick results. And I have to
Yeah,
explain it took time for, you to get where you are. It's going to take time to reverse that and
yeah,
to reverse it in a realistic and healthy manner. At the
yeah,
end of the day, I have that nursing degree behind me, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to harm someone.
right.
And if you can't do it sensibly, then, I'm not the person for you, but I try to encourage,
Yeah,
to do it
yeah.
in a healthy fashion.
Welcome to The Functional Edge. I'm Dr. Julia Ward, and this is where science meets real world strategies for living healthier, sharper, and stronger. From uncovering hidden environmental toxins to unlocking peak performance and mental clarity, we cover it all. Ready to take control of your health and thrive? Let's dive in. Well, welcome to the Functional Edge podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Julia Ward, medical director and founder of Balanced Body Functional Medicine. Today, we're honored to welcome Karen Walters to our show. In this episode, Karen will be sharing insights on fitness and bodybuilding, offering expert guidance to help you navigate your health journey with the latest advancements in functional medicine. Stay tuned for an engaging conversation that promises to empower and inspire your path to wellness. Karen, thank you so much for being here. And
Happy to be here. Thank you.
yeah, I'm going to give you a chance to just tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay, where do I start? As far as my career, I've been a massage therapist since 1999. I don't know if that
Wow.
tells my age or not, but I have trained in massage therapy under the best that you could train under so that I can service any type of athlete that exists. I specialize in medical massage, myofascial release, and deep tissue sports therapy.
That's great. And you recently won your IFBB Pro card?
I did, yes. Back in November 24th, so just a few months ago, I received my IFBB Pro status in the figure division.
That's
Yes,
great.
yeah, it was quite a journey. I didn't think I would get there. I knew I wanted it, but I
Yeah,
didn't know that I could get there. I trained for 2 years to be able to compete at a elite level, if
right.
you will. And I had the help of a doctor. Her name's Julia Ward.
That's awesome. And we'll get more to your story about how you prep for that and what that involves in a little bit. But first, you have such a unique background. You're a nurse, massage therapist, trainer, coach, and now IFBB Pro. So can you walk us through your journey into the world of fitness and bodybuilding?
Yeah, I can. Actually, this all started in 2011. 2011 is when I discovered that I had carotid artery disease and high blood pressure and high cholesterol. My parents had gotten sick at the time, both at the same time. And I knew that it was time for me to go get myself checked out. So I went to an internal medicine doctor, had the typical test done, blood work done, and I did also have a complaint of memory loss. I was in nursing school at the time. And I had always been a very great student. And
Mhm.
I was taking microbiology at the time, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't remember anything. That was the first class I didn't make an A in. And so,
Oh,
like, it
and
must be a reason it's not me.
do you mind me asking like about how old were you at that time?
I want to say 34, 30,
So you were
34.
young.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
you were
pretty
young to
young.
have all these like chronic issues start cropping up.
Right. I was
Yeah.
really young and I was always an athlete in high school. And I would say I took care of myself because I didn't know what take care of myself was at that time.
Hmm.
I know that I didn't drink heavily, smoke, I know I didn't
Yeah.
do all of that at the time. And that, I mean, I cooked most of my meals. I did eat out, but, I didn't really know anything about nutrition at that time and fitness as far as just being an athlete myself and
Yeah.
high school volleyball player. But like back to the doctor, we did a sleep test. It turned out that I had sleep apnea.
Oh, wow.
And at the time, I was 135 pounds, so I couldn't figure out like how am I so sick?
Yeah.
And we did the blood work and found out that I had high cholesterol. I had the high blood pressure just from the symptoms that I explained to the doctor. I would walk, run every morning, and I
Hmm.
couldn't breathe, and just a lot of things I was complaining about. We ended up getting the blood work back, and it looked bad. And so he
Okay.
did a carotid Doppler and INT. Maybe you
Uh-huh.
could explain what that is to everybody. But at that point, it was discovered that I had arteries of a 68-year-old and
Ooh,
that
wow.
I had carotid artery disease. So that was
Okay.
pretty scary. That was
Yeah.
pretty scary. So the doctor sent me to a dietitian. And, I'm not trying to talk bad about a dietitian, but it was like I was a single mom of two, 34, and you're telling me that I'm about to die. And, and I had a stroke.
Oh, wow. You actually had a
um,
stroke.
maybe it's a TIA. So,
TIA, transient ischemic attack, or just like a mini stroke is what they call it.
yes.
So the
And
whole thing
I
was a
had
wake
the
up call.
MRI done or the scan
Yeah,
done, and it was confirmed and all of that. So, but I'm going back and forth because the timeline
yeah,
it was so long ago, and that's not my life anymore. So I'll try to
sure.
forget it. But
Right.
yeah, so I went to a dietitian, and she was saying, eat a piece of meat the size of a deck of a card and do this and that. And I was like, ma'am, I had a stroke. And I need something a little bit more like serious to go by. I'm committed. You just have
Yeah,
to tell me what to do.
yeah.
And so that's when I started researching bodybuilding and bodybuilding coaches and trainers and looking into what their certifications were. And they have certifications in not only nutrition, but weight loss. And, it just goes the extra mile in their knowledge. And so I found a bodybuilding coach that received his degree at Colorado State. He had all the nutrition knowledge. And that's when I hired him to help me with my fitness journey.
Okay.
Make a long story short, it took me 1 year to be free of high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And then
Okay.
at my 2 year mark with him, I did the carotid Doppler and INT, and I was free of carotid artery disease.
That's great. So you were able
Yeah.
to reverse it.
I was able to reverse it. And, at that time, he was like, wow, you've already won. You may as well do a bodybuilding show. And I was like,
Right.
okay, okay, I'll do it. And my
Yeah.
first bodybuilding show was Muscle Mania, and I got fifth place out of five.
Okay. But you were there, and that's the important thing,
I was
You,
there, and I had
yeah.
already won because I survived. You
Yeah.
know,
Absolutely.
without sounding too dramatic, I survived.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's how I got into my fitness journey with a sickness.
right, right. Which I think happens for a lot of caretakers who are,
Mhm.
go into more natural kind of medicine. They have some sort of health scare, either themselves or a loved one, and they start exploring alternative or more natural options. But with over 2 decades of experience in sports and therapeutic massage, what initially sparked your passion for working with the body in such an in-depth way?
Really and truly, it started off with cancer patients.
Oh, interesting.
But I still felt limited. I know cancer is a real serious disease, and I was happy to like help in that aspect.
Hmm.
But it's still, I felt like my skill level could contribute more
Uh-huh.
to, I don't know how to word that, and that's when I started working with athletes. Athletes are very in tune with what they have to go out and do. They know how
Yeah.
to prepare for it, but they don't practice recovery. And so, I wanted to be able to help athletes learn how to
Hmm.
recover and take recovery serious. And that, creates longevity in the sport that they perform.
That's great. Yeah. And how has your expertise in anatomy and physiology influenced your approach to training and competing?
Oh, wow. Uh, that's a deep question that I would almost have to ask you to ask again so that I can answer it properly.
But it's helped.
As far as
Yeah.
Yeah, it is helpful. My expertise in anatomy and physiology kind of lets me take the fluff work out of training. You
Hmm.
see a lot of people in the gym doing all these fancy things, that
Yeah.
they see on YouTube and everything. And for me, I am very specific in my training. And as far as like the expertise in anatomy. I know where origin and insertion is on a muscle. I know the muscle's function. And so therefore I can just get right to it and do what needs to be
Yeah.
done. A lot of
Yeah.
people might work out for an hour and I work out 30 minutes, 30 minutes and I can
Yeah.
accomplish,
Efficient. Yeah.
yeah,
I
very
love that.
efficient. I
Love
believe in
that.
efficiency.
Well, again, congratulations on your recent win at the
Thank
NPC
you.
Texas State. What was your journey like leading up to that?
The
Like,
journey was challenging. I want
yeah.
to say that first because I am perimenopausal. Is that the
Yes.
proper term? I'm
Correct.
perimenopausal. And, I actually came to you in September of 23,
I think it was 22 or yeah.
22,
Yeah.
22.
Hmm.
Because I am certified in nutrition and training, I was on a regimen that would have put me in a deficit, which would have started me on a cut or to lose weight. And
Right.
nothing was happening. And
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out why nothing was happening. And I know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that's what brought me to you. I knew that I couldn't see a regular doctor. I knew I had to go to a functional medicine doctor. And I
Yeah.
did take time to research you and a couple of other doctors in the area. And I chose to go with you because I liked your approach. Your approach wasn't like, let me put you in a little box and give you all this medication. It
Yeah.
was, let's find out the why.
Yeah.
And I need to find out the why type of girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, as far as my process of starting again and the 2 year journey to
Two years.
back to the
Yeah.
stage, once you did get my hormones under control,
Hmm.
my body started responding how it should
Right.
respond. And
Right.
that just encouraged me more to keep the training going and to finally choose a coach that wasn't myself,
Yeah.
just somebody accountable and someone just as smart as me that I can trust to help guide me along the way. So, two
Right.
years of working out, recompositioning my body, and then with the last 24 months of the 2 year period is when I started my cut, the actual started weight loss and
Yeah.
cutting and getting prepared to actually pick a show.
Right.
And
Right.
that's when I picked the show in November. It was my very first NPC show because I had always done Muscle Mania
Yeah.
and it was successful, as you can
Yes.
see.
Very successful. Very successful.
So,
And we'll put some
yeah,
pictures up as well of your winning photos because they're pretty amazing.
thank
Uh,
you. And thank you for your help.
of course, of course. Can you sort of break down what your prep looked like how you structured your training, your nutrition, and like recovery in those final months?
In the
Mhm.
final months of training, really, I pushed to the very end. I still did a lot of heavy lifting, which employs hypertrophy in the muscle. I didn't really start to do a different training style. Matter of fact, I didn't. I still worked in that fashion. So basically, lifting heavy, making sure I have the proper nutrients. I think I was still eating 1,600 calories, maybe 1,600 calories toward the end, and then
Uh,
we reduced gradually as the show got closer. I don't know
Yeah.
if I could say how much
So you're still like, how
we
long
reduced.
did your workouts last? How much time were you putting in the gym?
I worked out 6 days a week, 30 to 45 minutes.
It's not like you were spending hours and hours.
I wasn't spending hours and hours, but I did add cardio onto the end because,
Okay.
again, you want to live as realistic as you can nutrition wise. And the
Yeah.
deficit came more from my activity. So
Yeah.
I did pick up my cardio sessions, but at most I did a split 45 minutes in the morning upon weight, and
Yeah.
then I would do 45 minutes in the evening
Of cardio.
to get that deficit.
Yeah. And how many meals were you eating a day?
4 meals a day, which I still eat 4 meals a day now.
Okay.
I have a very heavy work schedule, and I would love to eat 6 meals a day
Yeah.
in the perfect world, but I still do food timing,
Uh-huh.
but I do the 4 meals. So I'll fast in the morning. I'll fast till about 1 o'clock, and then I'll have my breakfast at 1 o'clock, and then I'll start eating every 3 hours after that.
Okay. Until
It's
what time?
I usually try to get all my meals in by like 10, 11 o'clock at
And
night.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
I don't get that much sleep, maybe six
Okay.
hours a day.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry,
No, no.
listeners.
And were there any major obstacles like mental, physical, logistical that you had to overcome during this prep?
Mental.
Okay.
Mental. Mental, and really and truly, I mean, because I work at the gym,
Yeah.
I call our members civilians, the ones that are not athletes. And
Hmm.
it was pretty tough. I know they didn't mean it, and a lot of people don't know what words to call like our fitness journey. But
Yeah.
you have people giving you their opinions.
Uh-huh.
And if your coach is telling you you're not quite there yet, but your gym members or people are saying, "Oh, you look skinny. Are you okay?" It's kind of
Yeah.
tough mentally because you're not where you're supposed to be. And then you're
Yeah.
hearing a lot of
Oth-
comments.
right. Other
So it was
feedback.
really hard to come to terms with like people saying things. And I have a lot of people in the gym also that are coaches and they really gave me words of wisdom on how to like, get past and still smile at people because they don't know to say you look lean. They might say
Yeah.
you look skinny.
Uh-huh.
So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
just their word choices and they
Yeah.
don't mean to be hurtful. So,
Yeah.
I just had to come to grips with that. But that's really the only mental challenge that I had because I've been a bodybuilder since 2012. I took 5 years off, but I know what it takes. And so
Yeah.
I knew what I had to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then for me, my idea is hire the best in every area that you need to
Yeah.
address, and you're going to be okay. I hired the best doctor. I hired the best coach. I hired the best posing coach.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was going in prepared. So I really didn't have a worry.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, the best
Yeah.
prep that I have ever had.
That's great. And so you're not just a competitor, you're a coach, a posing, you do posing coaching yourself. You counsel people on nutrition and personal training. How do you tailor your coaching approach based on each person's body and goals?
What a great question. I feel like it's very important to set my potential client down for an interview.
Hmm.
I do go through a couple of questions about their goals, where they've been in life and their fitness goals. Have they ever had a coach? And I get to know what their lifestyle is. I actually ask them their work schedule and it take me through a day of their
Hmm.
work schedule and how they eat and their work schedule.
Yeah.
And I kind of get an idea of what's realistic for them. I mean, in the medical world, we have this big word called compliant, right? And we
Right.
want compliant patients. And so I look at how I can bridge what I do for people and what they can be compliant with,
Right.
and we start there. So my meal plan for my client might not look clean at first because they haven't been eating clean. So
Yeah.
as we progress, I just clean up their meal plan. As we
Hmm.
progress, we add more days in, we add more cardio in. A lot
Yeah.
of people really want to just get to it. And in my experience, that hadn't been very successful for many people. So I just add one component at a time. And, I do ask them what their commitment time frame is when we
Hmm.
go in so that we can have some realistic expectations.
Yeah. That's great.
Mhm.
What are some of the most common mistakes you see new competitors or gym goers make?
Just what I said, trying to do everything at one time. I always preach baby steps. Take baby
Yeah.
steps. And
Yeah.
consistency is the most important. So if you're working out 2 days a week, be consistent with it. Once that becomes a habit, then add another day in.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to like make these unrealistic goals and then they beat themselves up and then they get discouraged and then they stop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
toward the end of our lifespan, we need to be able to do our ADLs.
Right.
So, I mean, at least be consistent so that, you can have longevity in fitness and that it's
Right.
enjoyable.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Hmm.
just FYI, the ADLs are activities of daily living, right? We've got
Yeah.
to be able to do some of those. So, with your deep background in massage therapy and modalities like myofascial release, how do you integrate recovery into your regimen and into your clients?
That's great. I just mix it all up.
Okay.
What I mean, all the areas that I'm like certified in and have been doing for years, I added into the therapy. So on my like service chart, I don't have this is deep tissue, this is therapeutic, I don't have it like broken down like that because I feel like the whole session is a therapeutic session. If you need something done, I'm going to do it. I don't have a cupping service added on because if I need to cup you, I will get permission from you, but
Hmm.
then I will like, add that into your therapy. I feel like I would be doing someone a disservice if I just did this one modality. Oh, you just paid for this. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
You want to
I just
do
feel like I
whatever it
need to
takes
get
to
the
get them
job.
better.
Yes, get
Yeah,
the job done.
that's awesome. So
Yeah.
you've worked with elite athletes across sports, so NFL, NBA, world champion boxers, Olympian level bodybuilders. What have you learned from supporting high performers that everyday athletes can benefit from?
Recovery, stretch, the infrared sauna. I
Yeah.
mean, what I've been teaching them is the amount of time that you put into training is the same amount of time you need to put into recovery. And
Mm,
if you are a serious athlete, you will add those in. It's
yeah.
it's very important. I'm trying to get to the Rockets now. That's my favorite team, actually. But it's like I'm like, I can do your treatments for you. I just don't want y'all to be hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of people still look at massage therapy as a luxury.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
has definitely moved out of that luxury category like years ago. A lot of hospitals have massage therapy incorporated into their hospital system, and it's for a reason. I
Yeah.
mean, the research is behind that body work really helps an athlete recover, people recover.
Yeah. Do you have some favorite recovery tools or techniques that you always come back to?
I always go back to deep tissue. It just works. If I
Yeah.
have an hour with someone, I'm gonna do the best modality or the that's gonna get me where I need to get in that time frame. And then
Yeah.
when somebody gets on the table, I tell them if something is uncomfortable for them, I have 20 other ways to get to letter Z. So, just communicate with me during your session and, we can pick any type of modality. But I do
Yeah.
find after all is done, after everybody's come up with all these techniques and tools, that deep tissue is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Well,
been around for how long, It's been
yeah.
around a long time.
Well, I can tell you from personal experience, it does work.
Yeah.
It's highly
It might
beneficial.
be uncomfortable.
It's okay.
I always
It's
tell people there's a difference between pain and discomfort.
right.
You might be
Yes.
uncomfortable.
Yes.
But I do describe to them if they're in pain, they might feel a hot flash or start sweating or feel
Yeah.
nauseous. So
Right.
those are some of the things that I tell them that they don't want to feel during my treatment.
Yeah. Can you
Mhm.
tell us more about Kinetics Fitness Center? What sets it apart and what kind of community and services you're cultivating there?
Yes, well, I do feel like we do focus on community. We range from age 13 all the way. We have a member that's 98.
Wow.
And yeah, we're able to, help everyone at every walk of life. We have equipment that ranges from hydraulic equipment to machine work. We have dumbbells, we have powerlifting, we have a boxing ring in the middle of the gym. We're 30,000 square feet. And, we provide everything from massage therapy, infrared treatment, dry sauna, stretching. We
Yeah.
have 25, I believe 25 trainers at the moment,
It's a
but
lot.
everybody has experience in so many levels. And
Yeah.
Neil and I make sure that everyone is certified at the top level. We only accept certain certifications so that if we have to refer a member, we know they're not going to get hurt. We know that
Mhm.
they have an expert behind them. And I mean, we're totally confident, with putting a client with who matches their personality or, what
Yeah.
have you, because we know fitness wise, they'll be taken care of.
Yeah. Yeah. You
Yeah.
also offer online workouts and customized meal plans. How have
Yeah.
you seen these tools help clients stay consistent with their goals?
It really still makes people accountable. If I provide an online program, I do expect you to meet up with me Zoom for a workout. I still
Hmm.
like to see how you're going through a workout so that I can kind of guide you on what intensity you're supposed to be at while you're working out alone. We do progress check ins once a week. And I do make their meal plan based on numbers. I take their weight, do calculations, the old school
Yeah.
method,
Yeah.
and I calculate their macros that they should be at for their particular fitness goal. And I go through what the typical weight loss is per week and
Hmm.
body fat drop per week is, so that we can kind of know how long you're going to have to work with me to accomplish your goal.
Okay.
So
That's
it's a
great.
numbers thing. It's science,
Yeah. Yeah. I
tried
love
and
it.
true.
What's your approach to long-term fitness for someone who's not competing but wants to live strong, pain-free, and confident?
Slow and steady and
Yeah.
consistent.
Consistency.
And I consistency. I mean, we're going back to that word, right? Just consistency and to not push yourself so hard. It's gonna come. You don't have to like they didn't build Rome in a day, right?
Right.
So you cannot change
Can't
what's been going on with your body for 12 years in 1 week.
right.
And
Right.
a lot of people want these like quick results. And I have to
Yeah.
explain it took time for you to get where you are. It's going to take time to reverse that and
Yeah.
to reverse it in a realistic and healthy manner. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, I have that nursing degree behind me, and I'm not going to do anything that's going to harm someone.
Right.
And if you can't do it sensibly, then I'm not the person for you, but I try to encourage
Yeah.
to do it
Yeah.
in a healthy fashion.
Yeah. So getting back to the bodybuilding subject, what drew you to the figure division specifically? And how do you think it differs from the other categories in terms of training and presentation?
Yeah, I picked figure because of my body shape. I
Mm-hmm.
have broad shoulders. Each division in bodybuilding has a particular body shape that
Mm-hmm.
you're competing in or trying to accomplish for that particular division.
Yeah.
And the look is dictated by the organization. So they tell you what bikini should look like, what wellness looks like, what figure looks like, and what they're expecting as far as criteria.
Okay.
And looking at my body, I have the broad shoulders, I have narrow hips, and figure competitors look like a martini glass. So I'm a cosmopolitan. So that's how I picked the division that I'm in,
Yeah.
and to maintain that martini look, that dictates how I work out. I
Yeah.
work out to build my back. I work out to
Mm-hmm.
build my quads. I want a narrow waist. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't do crunches or all that other stuff. I do vacuums. Or if I do any kind of ab work, I'm not doing anything over 10 pounds because I don't want to bulk up my midsection.
Right. Right.
So
Uh,
with bodybuilding or with figure, one of the criteria is symmetry. And
mm-hmm.
so I try to maintain symmetry in my body.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
What advice do you have for women considering getting into bodybuilding or strength training, especially for those who may feel intimidated?
Hire a professional. Do your
Mm.
homework. Interview a couple of coaches. People interview me all the time. Do I always get picked? No, something doesn't match up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like you should interview your potential coaches and see if they're matching up to what your needs are. Because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, you might need a lot of attention, and one might be able to give you more attention. One might just train online and do online picture check ins.
Yeah.
So it's about the individual and what they feel their needs are. But,
Right.
you know, I always say interview coaches and then see who lines up with your goals. Did I
Right.
answer that question?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Finding a good trainer is kind of like finding a good therapist, right? You
Agreed.
kind of have to
Agreed.
click, right? Because
Yes.
if you're not clicking, it just falls apart. So,
Yeah. And I would like to say this too. Yes, hire a trainer, hire a professional that can guide you through your journey and give you realistic goals, because
hmm.
they're not going to say, oh, yeah, you can get in shape in this time frame and you really can't. You
Yeah.
know,
Right. Yeah.
really, it's like a kindergarten teacher, right? You need someone who's going to nurture your mind also.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're
Right.
dealing with a sensitive thing, not just somebody's body,
Oh,
but,
yeah.
their mental capacity, how they
Yeah.
feel about themselves.
Yeah.
So, like, we're more than just trainers, we're kind of therapists
Yes,
also.
you kind of are.
Yeah,
Exactly.
we're kind of therapists also. But
Yeah.
once you hire a coach, listen to that coach. We all have different techniques that we use and things that we use. Somebody might use a different technique and might give you advice that doesn't match up to your coach's advice. So if you're going to interview and pick a coach, trust that coach.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So now that you've earned your pro card, what's next? Are there particular shows or goals that you're aiming for next?
Particular goals.
Yeah.
I am, well, first of all, I was the smallest girl backstage. So that was surprising to me. The
Yeah.
girls are pretty, I competed at 118 pounds, and, most of those professional figure athletes are competing at 130 pounds. And
Right. And
so my goal now
mhm,
is to grow, to
mhm.
take my time, like a period of a year, and really like, be very focused on what I'm eating, how much I'm eating, and what is it doing for my body? Because at the end of this year, I would like to have gained muscle, a
Mhm.
realistic amount,
Yeah.
and compete at, just having a better body than I did before.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't understand that your competition shape, like your stage picture, you can't maintain that. Like
No,
it's totally unrealistic to maintain that
e-
for any period of time.
exactly. I agree
Yeah.
with you. And then the goal is not to maintain that, because how
Yeah.
will I change my body? How will I grow
Right.
if, and I want to just say, when I say put
Hmm.
weight on healthily, you
Like
know,
a healthy muscle.
muscle, but I
Yeah.
also do want a little fat, because if I'm trying to gain muscle, I'm going to be lifting heavy, and I do need to protect my joints,
Yes.
try to stay
Yes.
away from injury. And if I don't have a little body fat on me, how can I do that? Right. I mean, you
Right.
telling me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. We need a little bit of fat as well. So eating a well-balanced diet obviously is
Right,
going to help with that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Enough protein, enough,
Exactly.
carbs. A
Yeah.
lot of people are scared of carbs, but we do need that.
Yeah.
You can tell us the right number. I haven't practiced nursing in a while, but as far as
Yeah.
nutrition is concerned, we say that the amount of protein that you eat, most go to your brain, and then the
Hmm.
rest go to your muscle. And that's why a lot of people take amino acids and
Yes.
things of that sort. But people really forget about the little guy, which is the carbohydrates. We need
Yes.
that. We need that
I
for
think,
energy. We need
yeah.
that to help build muscle, not just protein.
Yeah. I feel like carbs have gotten a bad rap. Uh,
Yeah, they have.
they have.
I mean, if we're gonna sit down and eat chips and candy, yeah.
Oh
But
yeah, that's different. Yeah. But well, tell us, what does a typical day in your life look like right now? How do you balance training, coaching, running a facility, and practicing massage therapy?
yeah, it's a lot, right? It's a lot. I have
Yeah.
long work days, but I'm very lucky. There's one particular client that I've been training since 2015. She's got it. She
Uh-huh.
knows how to work out. She knows the why behind why we're doing things. And she asked me to be her workout partner, which was a blessing for me, because
Yeah.
my day is so jam-packed with clients that, I told her yes.
Yeah.
And she's my workout partner. And we work out, I say an hour, because we'll do an efficient workout. Sometimes it might take 45 minutes, but then
Yeah.
we have time to do a little cardio together as well as a thank you. So
Yeah.
I do want to say that she really helps
Mhm.
me, because I'm able to manage a work schedule and I'm able to get my workout in every day.
That's nice. Yeah, that's really
Yeah.
nice because sometimes when you're a trainer, you forget to train yourself or you forget to
Yeah. Yeah.
prioritize your time. So,
But being service providers, right? We always
yes.
put everybody ahead of us. And, it's hard to tell people no. And, it's been hard for me to program people around here. So
Yeah.
if you see
Yeah.
me working out, I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not free.
Right.
I'm
Right.
actually
Exactly.
working.
It's not
Yeah.
your free time.
So,
Yeah.
I've been lucky this go round that everybody's so respectful of my goals. And because this is such a close knit community at Kinetics,
Yeah.
people are very supportive of your goals. So
That's
they see
great.
you working out and they cheer you on and they let you have your moment to work out,
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. So it's been pretty easy to juggle it all.
Cool. So what do you do
Yeah.
to stay inspired? Is it music, people, rituals, or personal mantras?
Just being surrounded around people that have my same goals in life, my same
Uh-huh.
business goals, fitness
Uh-huh.
goals, same mindset. I consider you one of my friends, and it's nice to see you on a weekly basis as my client, my
Yes.
massage client, because, we check in on each other's goals. And I
Yeah.
know I'm going to see you, so I know that I have to be on point.
Yeah.
So just basically being surrounded, by people like me that
Yeah.
have the same interest in me. I can say
Yeah.
that, oh, yeah, I've been on my meal plan. How's your meal
Yes.
plan going?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Karen, thank you so much. It's been really such a great pleasure to talk with you and pick your
Thank
brain
you.
about all this stuff. So,
Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you did. You're such a profound person. And I'm just happy that I fit within this podcast because I know you have some excellent guests on.
yes,
And hopefully, I've added to something that your patients will be interested in.
yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be interested in this topic. So, no doubt at all. So, thank you again
All right.
so much. All right.
Thank you. And you have a great day. See
You
you
too.
soon.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you for joining me on The Functional Edge. I hope today's episode gave you fresh insights and practical tools to level up your life. If you found value in what you heard, don't forget to hit subscribe, share the podcast with someone who needs it, and leave a review. It's the best way to support our mission of bringing powerful health solutions to more people. For more resources, updates, and behind-the-scenes content, visit drjuliaward.com. Until next time, stay strong, stay healthy, and keep living on the functional edge.